Um, so, hi everybody. Nice to be with you. I am, I've got my weird headphones in, so I look like a space alien. So they can't find my other headphones where I look like more of a space alien. So, I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I got my sweater on because it's friggin' cold in Houston right now. Ah! Um, Welcome to Global Bars Day. Okay, I was just kidding. I know, that was a little joke. Welcome to the Bars Facilitator Call. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be with you. Hi, everybody. And I'm glad it's freezing in DC too. That's awesome. So let us, there's so many things I would love to talk to you about. And also, please feel free to ask questions. I'm glad you can hear me. Yay. Please feel free to ask questions, and I will do my best to give you another question back. And God, I feel like there used to be this old man who used to do a children's television show in the United States called Mr. Rogers. I feel like him. I've got my little sweater on and talking to all my friends around the world. I'm like, oh, Mr. Rogers is here. And you can see Americans laughing and everybody else is going, who's that? Um, so let's see. One of the things I would like to do with you. Okay, first, thank you. Thank you for being a bars facilitator. Thank you for seeing the value of what access consciousness offers to such a degree that you want to bring it to other people in the world. And what I will say is that you have noise. That's what you have. Hey, is your, can you, no, I was not the one who was opening the bag of chips. Mute them, not me. I tell you. You may not recognize it, but within your hands is the capacity to create miracles, capacity to create what other people would call miracles. In a sense, see, if a miracle is something like if somebody's functioning from this reality and you are functioning from this reality or have the tools of this reality, even if you don't understand them, and you apply it to a difficulty in this smaller reality, to this person, when this changes that they've been holding on to and it goes like this, it feels like a miracle to them. Okay. But what you're really doing is you're functioning from a larger reality and you're just applying this wonderful tool called access consciousness bars, and it changes their world. But they're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this could happen. And so the reason I'm explaining it that way, and it has other aspects to it also, but the reason I am explaining it that way is because when I say you have the capacity to create miracles, I know a lot of you somewhere in your world know this. A lot of you somewhere in your world, it's why you want to do bars in the first place. And yet you look at it and go, but I couldn't be a miracle worker. You know, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be that brilliant. I couldn't be that smart. I couldn't do that much. Actually, yes, you can. But if you don't know that yet, realize that what you're doing is you're functioning from here with these tools called access consciousness bars, and you're applying it to somebody who's functioning here, and it allows their world to come out to this possibility that you know is available that they don't. So everything that does not allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive what you actually know is available that nobody else does, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And everything that does not allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the gift and the miracle that bars are, and that bars are in your hands, will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. What if you recognized that what you have the capacity to do is to help people go beyond this reality that we currently live in, that is about this big? Actually, it's about it's about that big, okay? Into a reality that is so big that it's inconceivable to them. So what if you recognize that what you're really doing is by putting your hands on people's heads, by talking to them about bars, by showing them how to run bars, you are literally giving them the tools they need to function from a reality of possibilities rather than a reality of judgment and limitation and wrongness. Now, for me, I can think of no greater gift in the world. From the moment I came across Access, I was so inspired and grateful because of what could be changed that nothing else on the planet was changing. And I know a lot of you have done or do a lot of other modalities. And I get that. And you know, you're not supposed to have them in your bars class. Do that separately and make sure everybody knows that it's separate. But the reason we say that is because we don't want people to get confused between what access is and what everything else is, because it is that different. And we want people to be able to have the choice to know that this energy exists in the world. So, what is the energy and the space and the consciousness that you know exists in the world that you've never acknowledged? Everything that is times a godzillion, we just run and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. I like it. Bars saved my life. So grateful. That's awesome. It saved mine too. You know, it's like, I mean, really? Like when, and this is why I talk about this thing of what you're really doing is you're taking people from this point of view of reality and giving them the space to expand into what actually is their reality. And will it take a while for some people? Yes. Will you judge you because you're not doing enough? Of course. You're humanoid. You're going to judge you a lot. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy judging you. Just enjoy having a good time going, oh my God, I didn't do enough for them. Oh my God, I probably didn't create the miracle I should. Oh my God, I'm the worst person on the planet. It's okay. You're humanoid. It happens. Forget about it. It's okay. Oh, but on that note, everything you've been doing to judge you, all the jails you're using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of judgment of you were choosing, will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys. I mean, bars took me from a grumpy bitch to a joyful, happy being. That's awesome. That is so cool. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the continuous, easy for me to say. Sorry, translators. For the creation of the continuous judgment of you are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, way destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Awesome. Ooh, there's somebody who said bars saved my, wow, there's lots of blocks of those. Bars gave my husband and I a great way to gift and receive and created a more spacious relationship and better sex. That's awesome. I added the better sex part for those of you who actually read it. I just thought, why not? I mean, you know, like, why not? I mean, if you're receiving more, it's one of the things that opens up to having better sex. How does it get any better than that? With yourself or with a partner? Oh, that's awesome. I had a lady today in my second bars class that left at the end of the day totally different than she came in. In the beginning, she said she wasn't spiritual. And at the end, she was aware of energies and that she could change things. That's friggin' awesome. This lady ran the ran the bars, a woman who was in depression for 10 years. She left with a grateful smile and relaxed like a baby. This, my friend, this is why we do what we do, okay? If you can download the chat from your Zoom, do it and read this, and because all of us need inspiration, okay? So what I would suggest to you is write down between 1 and 200,000 things that have inspired you with bars, okay? Even if it was just the energy that you got when you first thought about it, or when you had your bars run at one time or another. And it may have been your first time, it may not have. You know, for me, it was my first time. For other people, it was their first time, but not for everybody, and maybe not for you. And guess what? You're still not wrong. I know your favorite thing is to make you wrong. I totally understand. I did it my whole life too. Totally got you. I know that one, but you're still not wrong, okay? So if you're like, oh my God, I had my first bar session and I just felt like nothing changed. And then I left, and like 3 days later, things were different. So I went back again, and then my whole life changed. You're not wrong, okay? Please realize, even now, still, even right this 10 seconds, you're still not wrong, okay? And so recognize, so if you can get in touch with and start to acknowledge and start to write down the things that inspire you about bars and about access or any of the access tools that you've used, what it'll do is it'll give you something to go back to in those times where you need inspiration. Okay, let's face it. Once again, we all need inspiration. Okay, I'll get to that question in a bit. What does one be and do to get participants to show up in bars classes? Great question. The thing about needing inspiration is, I mean, it's not really a need, but sometimes it would sure help. And you can help yourself by writing down the things that you've experienced and the things that you've heard about and the things that you know are true that inspire you. Now, I would suggest definitely doing it about bars and about access consciousness tools, you know, the access stuff that you have used or heard about people using, but do it about anything, man. The inspiration in your life is not only going to come from access. If it is, you need to get out a little more often, okay? But there should be a lot of inspiration that comes from access. But one of my favorite things about access personally is it doesn't exclude. Now, we make jokes a lot. If you've ever been in a class with me or with Gary, we make jokes a lot about spiritual things and spiritual people and people doing this and people doing that. But we do it so that you can start to get lighter around the subject, not to make anybody wrong, okay? And we also do it because there are a lot of people out there in all kinds of different modalities who are trying to use their superiority because I do this, and they're trying to use it as a way of making themselves greater than other people. And so what we want to do is address it so that you can look at that from a different perspective rather than having to have anybody disempower you. Now, this is another key point here, okay? Your job and the thing that will make people want to come to you for sessions and for classes is empowering people. And, you know, our tagline in Access, empowering people to know that they know. If you do that, your business will grow and grow and grow continuously. The challenge in any new thing that we start, though, and some of you are not new at all, some of you have been doing this for a long time, and I'm grateful to be here with all of you, newbies and old bees and everybody bees, BFs, new BFs and old BFs. That just didn't sound as cool as I thought it was going to. Anyway, sorry. But whether you've been doing it a long time or a short time, the more you empower people, the more they will want to show up in your classes and the more they will refer people to you. When you start something new, a lot of times, or if you were brought up to believe that you're a bad person or you need to continuously prove your value, what you'll what you'll do a lot of times is you'll try to prove how great you are rather than empowering the people that come to you. And I'm just giving you this information because some of you have been in classes with people like that. Some of you have probably done that at some point and you're like, ooh, that didn't feel good. What did I do? Why do I feel so yucky? Well, it's because you probably went out of empowerment and trying to prove that you had value or trying to prove that bars has value. The other thing you don't want to do, the other thing that will actually kill your business and kill your classes is when you try to prove that bars has value. And what I do is I acknowledge, hey, everybody, you're here. Thank you very much for showing up. This is going to be totally different than anything else you've ever done. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be fun. And please laugh as much as you can because laughter changes much more than tears. There is no such thing as a wrong answer. There is no such thing as a wrong question. In fact, maybe this is the day we start to come out of the wrongness of you. Let's have more fun than we've ever had before. Let's get this party started. Cool. And also, if you're in your class and you say something and it's not right and you catch yourself, go, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. That wasn't actually correct. I am a chowderhead. I apologize. Let me tell you what actually is correct. And be willing to be so vulnerable in front of people that you can fuck things up. So, how much energy you're using in your entire life. Now hey, hosty, stop muting me. All right. And if you're ever on a telecall and somebody mutes you and you're talking, just do this. Okay, good. So anyway, how much energy have you been using against you to make you wrong at all times, rather than see the brilliant, phenomenal gift that you are? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, meows. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the wrongness of you are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Oh my God, I'm learning to speak Turkish. This is awesome. That was so cool. Okay. This is, you don't know that I'm secretly being taught Turkish on the side while talking to you guys. Okay, good. So how many jails are you using? And the jails are the judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies to create the dominance of E equals MC squared, which is the evil, mediocrity, and corruption, to create the wrongness of you were choosing. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the wrongness of you are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the wrongness of you are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared to create the wrongness of you were choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Now let's try this. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for never choosing the joy you truly be? Are the joy and the ease you truly be, are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of never having the joy, never creating the joy and the ease you truly be, are you choosing? Thank you, Cass, by the way. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I see yawns out there. You're welcome. By the way, the yawns are where the unconsciousness that is creating all this crap starts going away. And so as it goes, you go, yeah. But when you had it in your life and in your world, that's part of what makes you tired and not as creative as you could be. So as it goes away, you yawn, basically going, bye-bye. Okay. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for never creating the ease, the ease and the joy you truly be, are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, somebody said, can you explain the jails and E equals MC squared? Yes, jails stands for judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies. E equals MC squared, we all know Einstein's formula for the speed of light. He said energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, which basically meant that nothing could travel faster than the speed of light in the universe. However, what we realized was that people are using their judgments, their agendas, their inventions, and their lies to create this dominance of evil over them. In other words, they always think they're less than people who are doing or being evil. And what is evil? Unconsciousness or anti-consciousness. So they think they're less than the unconscious, anti-conscious people and less than this unconscious, anti-conscious reality we live in. And so they've been making themselves less. And if you ever have done something that was amazing and people look at you like, you're evil, you're terrible. Like if you create the miracles I was talking about earlier and people judge you. So what happens is you keep thinking you're evil and bad and wrong. It's just a humanoid point of view. Once again, you know, it just is. Welcome to being humanoid on planet Earth. Yay! How does it get any better than fucking that? Okay. So you always think you're evil, but in actuality, what happens is if you ever express your potency or your capacity, people tell you you're evil. So you go, wait a minute, I'm wrong already, and I'm a bad, terrible person just because I happen to be awake and alive. And you bought that your whole life, most people. And then at the same time, if you do something that's not that, that's miraculous, that changes something really fast, you change somebody's life, you change their depression, you change their money situation, you change your money situation, you know, get a better life in some way or help somebody else get one, then people go, you're evil, you change too fast. You're like, Jesus Christ, damned if I do, damned if I don't. I was evil for just not doing anything good. Now I'm evil for doing good stuff. What the fuck? So what ends up happening is you end up thinking you're evil. And then when you start to become the greatness that you are, you think you're evil for that. So you avoid that because you're so committed to being mediocre. One of the other answers to that question about how do we actually invite more people to our classes and have them actually desire it is you need to be willing to stop being mediocre. You need to be willing to stop trying to be normal, average, real, and the same as everyone else. And you need to stop undoing what is beautiful about you and your being and pretending it doesn't exist so you can be normal like other people. Everything that is times a godzillion. We just run and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh my goodness, that's got a lot of energy to it, my friend. Now, let me tell you a little, Daddy Dain is going to tell you a little story, all right? So just get comfy, grab a little hot chocolate or something, have somebody massage your footsies, sit someplace warm and comfortable, maybe have your dog lick your toes or something. I was in Japan and I was doing a Being You Changing the World 3.5-day class. I went in the first night and delivered a wonderful intro. And I say wonderful because it had such a light energy and people were laughing and it felt like people went from this to this, right? Well, I came in the next morning and if you've never been to Japan, it's a highly ordered culture. Some of the sweetest people on the planet come from Japan. I got to tell you, some of truly like just sweet, kind individuals. And it's a very highly ordered society. So there's a definite sense of this is right and this is definitely not right. Well, I didn't want to jump into that category of definitely not right. So the next morning when I started class, I was really holding myself back. I was really compressing my energy. I was trying to be more normal. I was trying to be more average. I was trying to be more mediocre. I was trying to be more real. I was trying to be more Japanese. Look at me. I look so Japanese, don't I? I feel Japanese sometimes. I think I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. No, sorry, that was a song from the 80s. Anyway, and so I was trying to be something that I'm not, because I'm not there to do more of the same. I'm not there to validate their old reality. I'm there to go, you know what? I am weird, I am bizarre, and I know something totally different, and I'm extremely happy, and if you want some of this, this is great, let's go, and if you don't, that's fine too, but I'm going to still have a good time, and I'm not going to limit myself just because somebody might have a point of view about it. And so what happened was I took a break, and I asked Katerina, who I work very closely with, I'm like, Katerina, will you help me, please? She said, yes, what's going on? I said, I am not having any fun here. And she said, well, what? She's all, last night was amazing. Why aren't you having fun this morning? And I looked at it, I went, I think I'm trying to not be too weird. I think I'm trying to keep myself contained enough so I don't invalidate the reality they had when they walked in the door. And I felt like that was a necessity. And a lot of you are going to feel like that's a necessity when you do a bars class. And she said, Dain, what about if they're actually here for the difference you're offering? Are they in this room to have the same old reality? Or are they in the room to have their reality busted wide open into something different? And I went, oh my God, the second one. Because what's true makes you lighter, right? Well, I didn't just get lighter. I was like, yes, the second one. And it had so much more lightness to it. And I went, thank you very much. That's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm on. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And it was a phenomenal class. There were so many stories of people changing after that class. It was absolutely brilliant. And so the reason I'm telling you this story is because I want you to know that I've done it too. And we're not here to be normal, kids. We're here to be different. But we're not here to try to prove that we're different, like one lady came into class in a bustier and a long dress from the, 1860s or something, and had her hair back and looked like she walked out of the 1800s. And I'm like, what did you do that for? She went, I was being different. I'm like, that's not being different. That's dressing like an idiot. I said, that didn't do anything to make people want to be around you. They were like, what is she doing? I said, you want to be different. It's not about how you dress. It's about how you be with people. And in this case, what I'm talking about is it's about the possibilities that you know are possible beyond this limited reality. So everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge the awareness and the possibilities that you're aware of, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So have you guys noticed that the more bars that you've done and the more access tools you've used, that things start to actually get easier, more joyful, more exuberant, more alive? Have you noticed that? You can just nod your head because we're on a Zoom if you have. And if you haven't, do your head like it. Just checking. You liar, Sergey. Anyway, I digress. He's laughing. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, no, he was showing people. Okay, gotcha. All right. I said that and he goes, no. And I'm like, liar. So notice, like, what if we could take everything with a sense of lightness? Okay, that's first. Ooh, wait, it's finally getting warm. Hallelujah. See, calling Sergey a liar really made me lighter. That was, hotter or something. I don't know. Okay, because I knew he wasn't lying. He knew he was lying, but I knew it didn't matter. Okay, sorry. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I've got ADD, ADHD, OCD, and autism all rolled into one. So it's just the way I'm wired. And so, sorry. Or you're welcome. I'm not sure. And I say you're welcome because you're probably kind of like that too. And you might be like me. You're like an Energizer Bunny. It just kind of winds you up and you don't stop talking for hours. Okay, here we go. So if you've noticed that you've gotten more lightness, the more you've done bars, the more you've actually used the access tools, that's this gift that you can be. Yes? Yes. That's the gift that you can be that actually allows people to know that their reality can do that too. You don't have to say a word. All you do is just be it. And you're like, yes, but how do I be it? Show up. Be you. Change the fucking world. I should write a book. Oh my God. And so what you want to do is you just show up and you just be that awareness that you are. And when you'll have all kinds of things that show up that seem like they're from this reality, right? And there are a lot of questions that I'm going to go back on the chat and see how many of those I can get to. But a lot of questions about people who are basically functioning from this reality, trying to hit you over the head with this reality, trying to judge you based on this reality. And, like, what do you do about that? Well, you be you. And the greatest gift you can give yourself, and we talk about this in the Certified Facilitators class, and is when you have a problem with somebody, what you want to do is you want to push down all of your walls and barriers. Don't go to fight. Don't go to try to defend. You don't have to defend access. You don't have to defend you. And if somebody continuously puts you in the place where you're supposed to defend you, what I would do is I would ask them to leave the class, but that's a story for another time. But what you want to do is push down all your walls and barriers to where nothing is wrong. No matter what anybody says to you or about you, it's not wrong. No matter what they say about themselves, it's not wrong. Truly create a space in your classes where nothing is wrong. So give that just a moment, okay? Close your eyes for just a moment, please. And just be right now. Just be right now in a class that you're facilitating. Class has, I don't know, somewhere between 6, maybe 8, maybe 25 people, maybe 100. And there you are, being able to stand there and facilitate. And what I'd like you to do is notice that there are a couple people that seem to have a problem or seem to have a question. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to push down all your walls and barriers. Here you are facilitating this class. Put yourself in that situation. Lower all of your walls and barriers and get the energy of the brilliance of why you wanted to do this in the first place and the gift that it can actually be. Now, if somebody is coming at you with their question that isn't really a question, it's more of an accusation and an idea that you're wrong. Lower all of your barriers, let all of that energy through, and have absolutely no point of view about it. You don't need to fight. You don't need to defend. Just be there with them. And be there with them. and be there with them. Now, if you do that, and from that place, you're going to go to ask them a question about what they said or make a comment about what they said, is there a different space available? So now, as you're being that, now what I'd like you to do, so with all those walls and barriers lowered, you notice, and if you just let the energy through and you don't have to defend access, and you don't have to defend you, and you don't have to defend that you're right or defend that you're wrong or not wrong or any of that. It's all going away. Now, how much easier is it to be there with the people in your class? And so you have this energy over here that, you know, is trying to do that thing of making you wrong. But notice that when you don't have to defend and you have no point of view about having to defend that you're wrong and defend that you're not wrong and defend and prove that you're right, notice how that energy just sort of dissipates. It's not even a factor in the room anymore. Notice that as you do that and be that, what happens is everybody in the room starts to kind of melt. Notice that they actually, without even knowing what's going on, they start to become a space that allows them to receive and allows them to come out of the wrongness of them. It allows them to come out of challenging everything that they could receive. Because somebody who knows doesn't have to challenge. It's only people who defend that have to challenge. And then they can have whatever part of it works for them that changes their life. And you've empowered them to have a different life in a different world. So I'm going to ask you to just be with that for just another moment or two. And recognize that if you can be that, you'll have the people who truly desire to be empowered show up in your classes. And you'll have some ones that don't. But what you'll do is you'll actually create an energetic invitation for everybody who can have any part of that you are offering with your bars classes. Now, what I'd like you to do from this space is I'd like you to ask, what could you ask for right now? It might be a number of people in class, and it might be a number of people that you facilitate a month. It might be a number of people in class or a number of sessions that you get to do. And I'm only asking you to get the faintest sense of that number to get the energy of what that is. And what I would like you to ask for is at least 3 times what you think you can do right now. So if you think you can do 4 people in a class, ask for 12 at least. If you think you can do 10, ask for 30 at least. If you think you can do 10 sessions a week, ask for 30 sessions a week at least. Get the sense of that, get the sense of the energy and the space of that. What I'd like you to ask for really, like I said, at least 3 times, but it could be way more. I'd like you to ask for the number of people in class or the number of sessions or the amount of income, whatever it is, and hopefully all of the above, that almost scares you to think about asking for it. To where you're almost like, oh my God, I could never do that, that's too much. But not quite. To where you're like, I could, oh my goodness, oh gosh, oh God, that's intense to even think about asking for. And ask. And go, universe, I'm asking. Beings of consciousness, I'm asking. Access consciousness and all of consciousness in the universe, I'm asking for every molecule in the universe to contribute. And everything that doesn't allow it, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, for those of you truly desiring more consciousness, truly facilitating consciousness, would you like some change and some contribution? That was apparently a yes. Okay, I have no idea what that will do. Okay, you can open your eyes if you haven't yet.
Hi, Dain. I have a question.
Go for it.
Hi, it's Safia. I'm lucky to be a teacher, and I've created to work in X-Men school with teenagers, and I give them the choice on showing the bar chart what they'd like, point that they like, and 99% of them choose the form and structure. And I was wondering if you could just give me some more clarity about form and structure.
Where do you teach?
It's kids with autism and disabilities, ADHD and physical disabilities in
Where?
England. In England.
Uh-huh. England.
Yes.
And you're surprised that people are choosing form and structure? Seriously?
I just wanted some more clarity on it, really. Some more, yeah.
No, you want to know how to get them to stop choosing form and structure, but that's not how it works.
No. So sorry.
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I get an awareness why they choose it because of their capacities and the environment sometimes, obviously that they're in. But I just wanted some more awareness and clarity on that, just to my curiosity.
Okay. Is this directly related to bars?
Yeah, it was just because I was just working out like the bars. Yeah, the bars point.
So you're doing bars with them? Or
Yeah,
bars
sorry.
point?
Yeah, I do bars with them, but I show them the bar chart, which one to choose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's.
Well, do they want you to show them which ones to choose?
Sometimes they just point to it themselves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
As well.
Cool. Okay. No, that's appropriate right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Because what happens is if they are touching the points, if they're even close, something's going to change for the person they're touching, right?
Okay.
And right now, the fact that they're asking for some form and structure is, in a sense, it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they're asking to have some sense of how is the right way to do this thing. And, we talk about there's no right and no wrong, which is actually true. Yeah. But in a kid's world, especially somebody with autism or ADD, ADHD, OCD, etc., them having some structure gives them a sense, and having it with bars is brilliant because it gives them a sense of being able to access what everybody else is doing that they don't understand, which is a sense of structure. But at the same time, it's with bars, so it's a formless structure. Okay. It's basically a structureless structure. The only structure you're giving them is, hey, go for this one, or here it is. Yeah. So what if you're actually doing exactly, ooh, hey, oh, sorry.
That's okay.
What if you're doing the exact appropriate thing for the situation that you're in? Okay. Okay. I'll try to stop making that move. Okay. Yeah. Sounds to me like you're doing a great job, my dear. Will you just acknowledge that, please?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I just share a story with that? Because I had one of the young lads. What they do is they know when I'm coming, so they always throw off because they have foot massages as well. So I do some energy work, and there's one young lad that chose to exit his body. I've been doing a lot of bars with him, and I was sad, but at the same time I was quite joyful because I realized that and you saw how he was changing in the sense that he was wanting to be out of the body that he was in and choose a different one so that he could take part in this reality's life in a different way. Uh-huh. So I just, acknowledging that. And,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
you. How bars can change people's lives. Thank you for that.
I know. Seriously, thank you. And it really does. It gives people choice. And wow, thank you for all the thank yous. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay, so somebody was saying, this is a long time ago. I want to get to, okay, so by the way, and thank you for the comments on this last thing that we just did. What I wanted, it was in a sense like a mini ESC, the energetic synthesis of community thing. What I wanted to do was, because what I want to do is give you a sense in your world of the energetics of actually being this that we've been talking about. And with the energetics of it, the creation of the reality around it is easy. The energetics is like the first seed, and then the reality around it grows into existence. But in doing that, and once again, if you'll listen to these audios, it's very much like an ESC if you haven't heard it. And I hope you guys were on, or at least got the audio downloads of the New Year's ESC. And if you haven't, send somebody an email. Maybe somebody can chat us what email to send it to. But it's just like an ESC, where the more you listen, the energy of that becomes more substantial in your world, and more substantial, because when I'm doing it, I'm being the energy of what I'm talking about. When you're in class and facilitating and you be the energy of what you're talking about, that that exists as part of the being in the reality of somebody's world, that will always be there for them as an invitation to choose that which is that space that they just became aware of. So the more you listen to it, the more you'll be able to get a sense of actually having this as a reality, and being able to have it as sort of a living, breathing reality for you. Because when you're the way that I talked about in class, what happens is people love to be in your classes. Because you're a space of something that is so different. You're a level of vulnerability, you're a level of allowance, you're a level of kindness. From that, if you're willing to not be so uptight you seem like you have a stick up your ass, you're a level of joy. And like if you're not German or Austrian, then this is, or Polish or Indian or American or Canadian. Shit, nobody on this planet can be happy, people. Damn it. Take me to a happy country. I want to move there. Okay, I was kidding. Doesn't matter what your nationality is, okay? Show me a happy American other than Gary. I don't see one. Anyway. Oh, wait, there's a few on the Access team. I lied. Okay. But when you be that, and you be that level of allowance, and you be that level of caring and that level of joy, or it creates this level of joy and a level of space for people to exist. And you'll know you did a great class when nobody wants to go home. Okay, so what I'm going to ask is, or suggest, or offer at least, is to please, 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 please listen to that thing that we just did. Because what I was doing, what got me to do that was in part the conversations that we've had, but also what I asked before I got on the call was, what can I most contribute to the bars facilitators to create this space where reality of possibilities is available with their sessions and with their facilitation, and also to give them the energy to know that they can be it. It was a bit of a big ask, okay? But that's one of the things that showed up. So I'm gonna, okay, wait for it. Yes, I love this question. Okay. When people cancel because they've read stuff on the internet that trips their trigger, what do you do? Can I tell you what I do? It's very complex. You probably need to stand up with your left arm like this and your right arm raised to the sun or the sky, and twirl around on your left leg 3 times and on your right leg 3 times in different directions. And then, bye-bye. Okay? What you got to get is, people are looking for reasons to reject. That was awesome. Okay. People are looking for reasons to reject. And if they don't do it before they get there, they'll do it after they get there. It's much easier if they read the shit on the internet and go away. A lot of times people will say, oh, I read bad stuff on the internet. I'm like, yeah, but you're in SOP. So how bad was it? They're like, well, I thought if somebody was saying that much bad stuff about you and they took that much energy to do it, I figured there must be something to it. So I checked it out, and it's been awesome. And by the way, and I've been told this so many times, they're like, if I am in a cult, I don't care, because I'm having more fun than I've ever had before. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you're going to hear this stuff. There's all kinds of shit out there about Access. And my point of view is, bye-bye. If you're truly willing to have that point of view and not make their limited point of view significant, what ends up happening is you actually have the freedom to know exactly that it doesn't matter anymore. Okay? You have the freedom to go, bye-bye, because it really doesn't matter. Because somebody who's looking for a reason to judge will always find a reason to judge. Now let me tell you, this is from many years of being judged this way, right? When the first article came out online, and it had mostly about me in it, and all these terrible things about me that I was supposedly doing and being, and it was about money, it was about sex, it was blah blah blah, it was blah blah blah. And I looked at that and I'm like, wow. And I was so hurt. I literally cried. I literally cried. And every time I thought about the article, I got this thing in the pit of my stomach. And every time I really thought about the article or go to read it again, I'd literally start crying. And I was like, how could somebody say these things about me? And all I wished, and what was going on in my world at the time, I'm like, you know what? If they would have just called me and actually asked me what was true for me, if they would have just had a conversation to find out what was actually my side of the story, but they didn't do that. They did all this stuff based on lies, and I went, wow. And what I realized with that was this way that people function in the world is people who want to judge something will find something that they think is judgeable and they'll use it to separate from you. But that's their way of controlling their reality. And if part of the reason I walked you through this thing of lowering your barriers and being in class with that, Snezhna Ulkar, nice to see you. You're making a lot of noise. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I just saw your name. I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, if you recognize that and you realize these are people just looking for a reason to judge, then it doesn't matter anymore. It's not a valid quantity. It really won't affect you. And the other thing is, when you have people in your class that are just looking to judge, class sucks. I mean, it's not very much fun to be in a room full of people looking to judge you. So I was hurt. I had many, many tears over the fact that this was occurring many years ago. And then Gary was like, Dain, why are you believing that lies can have power over you? And I'm like, well, when I was a kid, I had people who told lots of lies about me. And then people that I thought were my best friends separated from me and blah, 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 blah. He said, were those really friends? And I went, oh, no. If they bought those lies and separated, they weren't actually friends. They were pretending to be friends. And I went, oh. And so I had bought this lie when I was a little, I bought the lie that lies had power over me when I was little. How many of you have bought the lie that lies are even more powerful than what is true? Everything that is. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared? That lies have more power than what is true, and more power over you are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all dying, trust, boys, guns. Oh my God. Wow. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of lies having more power than what is true and more power over you are you choosing? And more power than you are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the lie that lies have more power than what is true and lies have more power than you are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so the reason I'm addressing this is because you're going to hear about all this stuff on the internet and whatever. And, you know, if you want to have an experience of truth with lies attached, go ahead and read it. I don't know about you, but I felt so twisted after reading. It's like, wow. Because what happens is they'll say, oh, these classes are, you know, these classes change all the time because they want people's money. Well, the truth is the classes change all the time. The lie is that it's because we want people's money. No, it's because we're continuously creating more from a different place. Oh, yay, I love myself. I said the M word, the biggest, most terrible word in the universe for bars facilitators. Money, 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 money. You're welcome. How? You're like, asshole, stop saying that evil word. Can't believe you're saying that evil word. Everything you've done to create the significance of money and the wrongness of money and the weird fucking shit that comes up every time you hear the word money. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. money, 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 money. And so what happens with that is, see, whether you recognize it or not, it's like the stuff that you have. Oh my God, somebody's named Macarena. They named a dance after you and a song. You're like world famous. Girl, you should become rich. You should be like the friggin' richest, most famous bars facilitator in all the world. Okay, I'm playing. Sorry. Welcome to my world, where everything is pretty much entertaining to me. Okay, so what happens is with this stuff with money, you know, even if I say the word and it gets weird, no, that's exactly what happened for me 17 years ago. If you haven't done the How to Become Money book, get the How to Become Money book and do it. And there are questions in there. The very beginning of it, or right after the intro, there's these questions. Sit down, be present, be as present as you can. Get more present than you ever had before, and do the questions, okay? And I'm doing a telecall beginning in February where I'm going through the money book with you guys, okay? Well, with whoever signs up for it, okay? But the reason I'm saying this about get the money book and do it is because there's no reason you should have to have a problem with money. There's no reason that money should be seen as evil to you or somehow bad, or it should bring up a weird energy when I say it or somebody else says it. We use money as one of the reasons and justifications for the things that we've decided we cannot choose. So how many projections, expectations, separations, judgments, rejections, and justifications for having just enough money do you have? And everywhere you decided money was the root of all evil, everywhere you decided money was bad and money was wrong, we just run and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, let me give you a process that you can run that I hope will help with the whole money situation. And it's based on something called comfortable distance. And comfortable distance is where you're only willing to get this close to something. And if you take even a hair step closer, you have to catapult yourself back so you maintain comfortable distance all the time. The difficulty is we do it with ourselves, we do it in relationships, we do it dynamically with money. So how many jails are you using? Create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between you and money, wealth. Actually, no. Between you and the ease of having tremendous amounts of money. Yeah, that's the process. Are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. I love the residual energy that comes up with this conversation about money. Because you think I'm running this process so I can get more of your money. Really? I mean, really, from what, even if you don't know me and this is the first time we've officially met, you saw the bars video. Okay, you've probably seen some YouTube videos. Really? I mean, really? 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 Okay, interesting choice. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, church, boys, and beyond. See, that stuff, money is one of those, and there are a few others, but that don't really matter right now. But money is one of those that gets you here, and then it gets you here, and then it gets you here, and then it gets you here. And it's one of those that is so highly charged in this reality that it's very tough to get any clarity on it, which is why I'm giving you this process. And I'll give you three other processes that will hopefully help a lot, and they're going to be very similar. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of the comfortable distance between you and the ease of having tremendous amounts of money are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, beyond. Oh my goodness, golly. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between you and the ease of having tremendous amounts of money are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. This next process I'm going to run all together, but I'm going to ask you to run them separately, each item. I'm running it all together so I can say this and move on to a few other things I want to get to, because I know some of you have lives to live and probably want to go to sleep, or I don't know, go out drinking with your friends or something. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between you and Dain and Gary and access and consciousness itself? Everything that is times a godzillion we destroyed and created, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Ooh, I got another one after this one. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between you and Dain and Gary and access and consciousness itself? Everything that is times a godzillion we destroyed and created, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. See, one of the things is, guys, we are here to contribute to you. We really are. Why? Because you are the people on the ground being the you that makes other people actually want more consciousness. Whether you know it or not, we're actually in this for the consciousness, Bob. I know pretty much everything else in the world, and most people, not all, but a lot of people are pretty much in it for the money. And I get it. But let me point this out, okay? Two things. Number one, if you can recognize that you can actually be in it for the consciousness, but you can also have a lot of ease with money, and that's not wrong, would your life get easier? Everything you've done to separate consciousness and money, will you destroy it and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. See, they should actually be able to coexist together. Remember, consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. What if you could actually allow yourself to realize, so let me ask you a question. Can you change the world more with money or without money? With or without? I'm guessing with is the answer. Oh my gosh, that's the answer. Yeah, that's what everybody got. I know, duh, I like that one. Everything that is time. So why the fuck aren't you rich, assholes? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Somebody said, fuck, why am I not? Because you won't choose it. Because mostly people who don't have money, it's because they hate money. Or they hate having too much choice. Or they hate the fact that they think everybody they know is going to want to take their money or borrow their money. So they think it's easier to not have money, even though the one thing they want in the world more than anything else is money. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared, the creation of a comfortable distance between you and the ease of having tremendous amounts of money are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. That's funny, Brian. Thank you for the process. I was just going to run something very similar. So how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between you and bars, classes, and sessions with more people than you can handle with total ease that are fully paying gladly are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. How many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of you, comfortable distance between you and bars, classes, and sessions that are almost more than you can, with almost more people than you can handle, that are able to easily pay you gladly? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, guys, so there are obviously these processes here that I would highly suggest putting on a loop and listening to. There were some other questions that I wanted to get to, but that was like 800 billion years ago. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, one of the things I wanted to point out is one of the things that people go into sometimes, and it's funny to have this conversation right now, but one of the things to go into sometimes is as a bars facilitator, like, why do I have to take foundation? Um, would would you try to teach an algebra class without having something beyond algebra? You gotta learn somewhat of what this stuff is about because it's so fucking different than anything else on the planet. The reason, and I'm gonna say this, and some of you are gonna hate me for it. If in an ideal world, to facilitate bars, you would take foundation, you take COP, and you take ESB at least. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, what we did was, and the reason I'm saying that is because the world you're introducing people to is so different. The more tools you have to handle and field more questions from this place of this difference, the more equipped you are to be seen as the brilliance you already are. And the more people that want to come to you because you're so fucking brilliant, because you're teaching them a bars class, but what you're aware of is this. If you teach them a bars class and all you're aware of is this, it goes for a while because you have that enthusiasm and that excitement. But what happens is you'll start to have people asking questions out here, and you're like, I don't know. I just am here to show you where to put the points on your head. Okay? Which is appropriate, and it's a gift. And when they start asking you things out here, if you can answer it, they totally get all the other gifts that you're there offering for them. So we have foundation as a thing to maintain your license. We let you get your license without it, as you all know. But we do that because we want you to actually be a better facilitator. And having had this conversation about money, there are people out there that go, oh, well, you just want more of my money in order to do this. Okay, thank you for your judgment. I appreciate it. But thank you also for telling me that you're never going to have any money. Because if you actually have that as a point of view, if you don't get that with 3 classes that are now, I don't know, $350 or whatever they are, for that amount of money, you can start a business and we don't take any royalties from the business, even though we're the ones who created the material and we're the ones who created the stuff and the processing and everything that goes into the business. What would be different if you stepped into that space that I was talking about when you were facilitating class? What would be different if you were grateful for that rather than, and I know this applies to like this many of you, like this many, same amount of people who are like interested in sticking in this reality. I totally get it. But I want to have this conversation because you'll have other bars facilitators talk to you and go, oh my God, I can't believe they're making me take foundation. All you have to do is look at them and go, I can't believe they're not making us take more. Oh, you know what else I can't believe is that they don't take any commissions from our classes. You know what else I can't believe? They're giving us this shit for fucking free. All we had to do is take 3 bars classes with 3 different people, and they didn't even have to get any commission on any of those classes either. Okay. So you got a choice. Think about it what you will, but if you're have that point of view about the money thing, what you're doing is saying, my financial reality is so small that I will never be able to do this, or this is a bad thing, or this is a wrong thing. And you're going to have people who come to you that say the same thing. I love this conversation because half of you think I'm defending the access point of view about foundation. Okay, let me give you a different conversation. If you don't want to do foundation, don't do foundation. Go away. There, different conversation. Okay? If you get the value of foundation, we want you as a bars facilitator. Okay? Because if you don't get the value of foundation, and I do totally get if you got a thing about money and all that sort of stuff, totally get it. I had the same thing 17 years ago, which is why I'm speaking to you from the place that I am, because I know it's changeable if we change our point of view. So ask yourself, what point of view would I have to change right now that I don't even realize I have? That would allow me to triple my income in the next 12 to 18 months. Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion. Read, destroy, and credit, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9, church, boys, and beyond. Access gave me the tools to come off all my medication for depression, fibromyalgia, and arthritis a year ago. Wow. And she says a huge thank you. Are you kidding? Thank you. Thank you for choosing it. Okay. So somebody says my awareness is that if people are deep down in a hole and they have their bars run for the first time, it creates more obvious change than if you're happy-go-lucky and get your bars run, as it is such a joy bomb. You actually, that's maybe. Maybe it did for you. That's awesome. If there's something up in my world that's not working for me, bars melts it away and allows a different choice and possibility. Amazing. I was doing a bars class a month and I stopped feeling any desire and inspiration to create classes lately. It's like the motivation to create classes has gone away. Can you speak about this? Yes. What was your target? See, what happens is when you start, you have all these targets. You're like, yes, but as soon as you achieve them, you're usually done. You need to actually set something further in the distance. The other thing is goals. A lot of you set goals. Guess what? Goals suck. They are horrendous. Because what happens with a goal is if you set a goal and you achieve it and you don't acknowledge it, you will destroy everything that you created so that you can go back and start over. So how many goals have you all created in some area, including bars, including access, including bars, classes, and people, and sessions, and including money, that you achieved in some lifetime, even if it wasn't this one, and you haven't acknowledged it, and then you destroyed it so you can go back and start over? Awesome! Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroyed and created, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Remind me to never talk to bars facilitators about money again, by the way, and the foundation is the prereq. That was a nice light conversation. Woo! I have to go drink after this call based on that conversation. That was so interesting because there's some people out there that are like, I'm just not going to change. That is just my point of view. Okay, have fun. I love you. I adore you. And have fun not changing. I mean, how much fun can it be not to change? Let's think about this for a moment. It could be like the most fun thing in the world to stay the same forever. Yay! Awesome. Okay, anyway, sorry. Okay. And everybody else is like, but this doesn't apply to me. So I got two groups of people. The group said they're like, this doesn't apply to me. Are you kidding? I'm so glad I got foundation. It changed my own life even more than bars did. I didn't think that was possible because the bars was more than I could ever have. And it changed my whole life. And then the other groups are like, I'm not changing anything. So basically, I probably shouldn't have had that conversation. I mean, if you think about it, because, you know, you got the people who don't care and then the people that are like, fuck you anyway. So I'm done with that conversation. I am moving on. I'm moving on to greener pastures. I'm moving on to happier places. Let me also address though. So how many goals have you set in any lifetime that you are still trying to achieve because you never acknowledged that you did achieve them and they were goals so you can never do any better than that? Everything that is times a gazillion. We destroy and creatively. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shirts, boys, and beyond. Sorry, just had a hairball there. Apologize. Okay, great process. Oh, I like that. I'd have to finally be honest with myself. Of course, that was an hour ago, but that's good. Is it advisable to call people up after a few days of a bar session, check with them? How are they doing? I think that's great. That's one of the things Gary used to do when he had the time when he first started Access. And there are a lot of facilitators who, certified facilitators and bars facilitators that have actually done this with people. And it's wonderful but when you call them up, you just be like, hey, how's it going? I just wanted to check on you and say hi and see how you're doing and see if there's anything else I could contribute. And that's it. You don't go, hey, by the way, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. You talk about them and you invite them to know that they can talk to you about whatever's going on. And then there may be something that you can give them a tool. You might be able to give them a question. You might be able to give them a process. And if you can recognize that, then what it does is it gives them this space to know that, oh my God, wait for it. You didn't just do it for the money. You're welcome. God, I love saying money with bars facilitators. This is like the best thing. I'm going to entertain myself by getting on a call with bars facilitators and going, money, 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 money. Let me ask you a question. What the fuck is up with you people and money? Seriously, what the fuck? Okay, now, when I had no money, when I say no money, I was in my chiropractic office. A lot of you may not know anything at all about me. But I had a chiropractic office in Santa Barbara, and I had an apartment that I was sharing with my ex-fiance, and we were splitting it. And I could barely afford rent on my apartment and my office was only like, I don't know, 150 or $300 a month or something. I was in one tiny room because that's all I could afford at the time. Okay. And I also had my practice in LA that was falling apart. It was awesome. So when I say this, when I'm talking about money right now, I'm talking about it from a lot of experience in living in the place where money is like this and a very compressive element. So what is it for you guys that would have to change in your awareness or your choice to make money not such a volatile issue in your world?
Then it's about receiving.
It's always about receiving, my darling. You are correct. What else? Anybody?
To let go of the significance of it.
Yeah, seriously. Everything that is, all the lifetimes in which money was, okay, so everything you've done to make money significant this lifetime, will you destroy it and create it, please?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, men. Now, how many of you have decided your money situation will never change? So everything you've decided is not changeable about money, that actually is changeable, that if you allowed it to change, would make you aware that you're far more potent and powerful than you are ever again willing to be, asshole. Will you destroy it and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, guys, I got it! If the money thing changed, you'd have to be aware that you're more potent and powerful than you're willing to be, and you use it as your prime reason and justification for proving to you that you're a pathetic pile of poop. That's awesome! I love you guys. You're the best. You're so cool. Everything that is times a godzillion way, destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. What potency are you that you're refusing to choose with the money you are choosing to refuse? Everything that is times a godzillion way, destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond.
Yeah, something I noticed about that is that I left my last job and I just realized that I had to prove that I could do life without money or something stupid like that.
Everything that is cutie pie dum dum pants, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. That's friggin' awesome. Oh my God. So how much potency are you refusing to choose with the amount of money you are choosing to refuse? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, beyond. And then the other part that is so fun and interesting, how many of you are hiding all this stuff about money? So when I bring it up, this energy comes up like, and you're like, there's nothing to see here. I don't have any of that. No, I'm working on it. I pocked and potted a couple things last year, and I think I'm good. So you're fucking trying to hide it from yourself. How much energy are you using to try to hide all the shit around all this stuff and money and receiving are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it, please. Excuse me. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Oh. Anybody feeling lighter?
Yes, but
Wow.
I have a question.
Hold on one sec. How much energy are you using to hide everything that goes on for you about money that isn't even yours? Are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. How much energy are you using to hide everything about money around you that isn't even yours, well, how much money are you using to hide everything around and about money, and around and about money that isn't even yours are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion. We destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Boys and beyonds, not beyond. New word. Yes, go ahead. Question, lady.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm from Argentina. I would like to talk about some people that are like cranky and complaining about paying the classes and all the things. And I felt that in the last half year, I have like this cranky person inside me. And my head knows that even if I go to buy a tomato, I receive a tomato. But it's like in this country, the expression is that I waste the money. I come back from the supermarket and I say, I waste the money, and nobody says I got this for this, and it's,
Yes.
and
You're
I can
Argentinian. You're
somehow
Argentinian. You're Argentinian.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
half of me is Israeli. I was living in Israel
God.
20 years.
Oh, you're like an Argentinian with a gun. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. So everything that is.
Somehow I cannot get this cranky person outside me, and I'm choosing that place that I don't like it.
Everything that is times a gazillion. We destroy and create it, please.
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And so the thing about, and I'm grateful for your question. I know I'm making a joke, but if we don't lighten the mood, we end up going into the deep end of, the cesspool. Okay. This is also one thing you want to do in your classes, because for the most part, most of what people talk about, if you can lighten the mood somehow, creates a different possibility for everybody in the class. Okay. Anyway, having said that, okay, so two processes. I'm going to ask you guys to add these to the list of things that, we're basically doing a telecall to change things here, a Zoom to change things. So might as well listen, write down all the processes, put them on a loop. So it will be a gift that keeps on giving. First thing is this process about your nationality, your family. We'll see where we go. So how many jails am I using? So how many jails are you using? Create the dominance of E equals MC squared of being Argentinian, Israeli, and a whatever your family name is, are you choosing? Now, if you happen to be German and Hungarian, if you happen to be German and Israeli, you're probably schizophrenic. Anyway, whatever, put that in there, okay? So Turkish, oh shit, oh my God, no, just kidding. Everything that is times of God, so just try and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So once again, how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared of being Argentinian, Israeli, and a Romanian are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion. We destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So what we have the choice to do, guys, is actually to get free of some of the things that have been the biggest reasons for us to make ourselves mediocre by corrupting our very being and believing that we're evil and making ourselves less based on it and never being greater than the evil around us. Whew, boy, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? I mean, but if you look at it, how much evil is associated with money? How much evil is associated with creating great change for people? And what you're looking for is to have the place where money is no longer evil. It's just a tool you can use to change people's realities. Gary told me this when I first came to Access. He was the first person. Yes, thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you, Betsy. He was the first person who he said to me, he said, the purpose of money is to change people's realities for the greater. He was the first person who ever gave me a reason to want to have it. Before that, I had money problems continuously. After that conversation, and he said that, and I went, shit, I'm willing to have it now. And so if you recognize you can change people's realities more with money, then is money truly evil? No, it's all kinds of shit that's been attached to it, so you won't be willing to have it. Is changing people's lives truly evil? No, there's all kinds of stuff that's been attached to it, so you won't be willing to have it. Just ponder the possibility for a moment. You were somebody who had all the money you could ever desire and the capacity to change people's lives. How much change would you create in the world, and how much fun would it be, and how easy would it be? So what if it's time to actually end the suffering? Everything that is times a godzillion, and all the commitments to suffering you have, will you just run and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. On 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now on 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, cool. Okay. So, well, oh, you're starting to vortex. How nice. Okay. You look like a bobble doll. I like it. Okay. So if you recognize that what we're looking to do is actually be interesting point of view and grateful for money, and at the same time, really grateful for the change we can create in people's lives, and grateful for that we can create even more change, the more money gets easier and the more we might be able to contribute to people who desire to require it, that will change their lives. It's like, wow, maybe it's not what we thought it was at all. And so, okay, well, you're vortexing, so I don't have very much more to say, but I hope that was a contribution. Oh, cool. Yep, the energy contributions are something you hear about in Foundation. Thank you. Oh, and all the commitments to suffering, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. And this idea of you don't have enough money for everybody on the planet, if you have money, someone else will have less. That's a total invention. So what inventions are you using to create the lack of ease with receiving and the ease and joy of having money are you choosing? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. And how many implants and explants do you have regarding money? Everything that is right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Imagine this for a moment, okay? Or look at the energy, like if you had all the money that you desired to take all the access classes you wanted, as an example, what would that be like? If you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to do the 7-day. Wow, in order to do the 7-day, I need to do foundation, I need to do ESP, and I need to do a body class, and I need to do a COP. Oh my God, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, wait, but I've got 8 months. Oh, but I'm rich. I forgot. I can travel anywhere I want. I can do it whenever. Oh, I can do it online because I can afford it. Oh, I can travel, or I can do it online. Oh my God, I can go anywhere I want. I can do this, and I can pay for the 7-day, and it'll be totally easy. And I can do the ESCs at the 7-day, and I have sessions with people and body work, and I can have as many drinks as I want because everybody is drinking like crazy. I don't know how these people drink so much. Oh my God. Notice that energy, and then notice the energy of, wow, I'd really like to do it, but I can't. Okay, anytime you go to I can't, you have killed yourself. Instead, my suggestion is, because I was in the same financial boat, what would it take to be able to do this? Now, it may not be this year, because you may not be able to turn around your financial boat that quickly. But if you go, what would it take to be able to do this sometime really soon? It may be next year, or maybe the year after that. There was one guy that came to Access, and he was such a wonderful invitation. He just brought all kinds of people to different foundations and things because he got so excited about what it was. And he wasn't a facilitator, so he's like, no, I just bring all kinds of people. And he would have people in class. And we were like, hey, and so one year, his first year in Access, he wanted to go to the 7-day, but he was somebody who never had any money, so he couldn't. But about half of his friends that he invited to Access went to the 7-day, and they came back and told him how wonderful it was. He's like, this fucking sucks. He's like, I'm going to go next year. Well, he truly wasn't willing to change his financial situation because he had a pride in poverty where he felt really superior to other people because he had no money, and he could tell how terrible they were because they had money and tell them how terrible they were because they had money. I'm sure nobody else does that. Anyway, so he didn't actually go the second year either, even though more of his friends went the second year. And then finally, he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit of being pride in poverty and having pride in not having money and being able to do everything without having money. And fuck this thing of acting like I'm superior to other people because I have no money and acting like I'm superior to people who have money. What the hell is that about? And he went, I am going. His third year, he created enough money to go to the 7-day. In the next 12 months, his business quadrupled. In fact, before that, I don't think he even had a business. I mean, it was like him. And then in the next 4 months, his business quadrupled after making the demand to go to the 7-day and actually going. This doesn't have to be about the 7-day. It can be about anything in your life. It's just that the 7-day is about change, increasing. So the reason I'm bringing this up yet again, is because a lot of times you don't realize how this money thing works, okay? If you just make the request and go, you know what, no matter what it takes, this is changing now. The universe starts to change. And you have a level of potency and creative capacity you've never imagined you could have. I gave you a ton of processes. Please put them all on a loop, even if you think they don't apply. The comfortable distance processes, run them and run them and run them and run them. And then when you really have a sense of space and ease and you feel totally free of doing comfortable distance between you and me and access and bars and Gary and your friends and your relationships and your sex partners and, you know, money and all that sort of stuff, then start running them again. Okay. And then when you get another sense of space or whatever, blah, 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 start running them again. Okay. Because these comfortable distance processes, as soon as you get over one form of comfortable distance, you will start creating another one. It is one of the biggest things that sticks us in this world right now. And then the last thing is, for anything you desire to have in your life, if you look at your bars classes and go, wow, I would like to have, what would it be like right now if you had the capacity and the ability and the willingness and the knowing that you could facilitate 125 people in a class? Everything that doesn't allow that to become your reality very quickly. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So one more time, how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared between, for the creation of comfortable distance between you and me and Gary and access and consciousness itself and bars classes and bar sessions and having more people in classes and sessions than you think you can handle with total ease? Will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So, the other thing that I'm going to say really quick is the more that you actually support people, the more you actually contribute to people, the more they will feel compelled to contribute to you. And when you are there for people, when you facilitate them from a place of allowance, when you check on them after, especially if you're building your business and have the time to do it, it's like it lets them know that you actually have their back. When you actually suggest to them, hey, there's this foundation coming up, maybe you want to do it. I found it changed a lot of stuff for me. Realize that you're not losing clients when you do that. You're actually gaining people who have your back and will contribute to you energetically. And I want you to also, like, for example, one of the things I used to do when I was facilitating foundations regularly instead of once a year or twice a year is when somebody was in another city and they're like, hey, can you come to my city? I'm like, no, but there's another facilitator there. Go to their class. And they'd be like, really? Most places don't do that. Most people try to keep you. I'm like, I'm not most places. I'm not most people. I'm like, please go to their class. I want you to have this class. I think it'll be great for you. And they're like, oh my God, really? And always that person would come back with an energy that was a contribution to my life, oftentimes with a phone call. Sometimes they would come back and do a class with me or do a session with me. And always when I gave it away and when I was willing to send the little birds out into the universe, like they always came back bigger and happier with more contribution. So everything that doesn't allow you to recognize it, that's actually true in this work. And that's actually the way the universe works. We just run and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, my beautiful friends, has today been helpful, I hope? Yay!
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
it was. Thank you, Dain.
Awesome. You're so welcome. Thank you, guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What a contribution.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dain.
Hi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for the gift of you in the world. I look forward to seeing you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Happy New Year!
Thank you.
How are you? Happy New
Thank
Year!
you. Freaking adore you. Thank you.
Happy New Year! Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Gracias.
A todos.
Love you.
Thank you.